What's going down, everybody? Welcome back to Extreme Scale Performance. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, chilling in the studio, and you already know what time it is. You saw the thumbnail, you read the title. The Toyota's finished, man. I finished it and I'm stoked on it, so I want to show you guys. I put a lot of time into it, a lot of energy, and I built it from just stuff I had laying around, which was good stuff for the most part, you know, but I just wanted to show that I'm still into it. I still got it. I can still build something, and it's not a Jeep. So I know some of you guys are getting mad at me for only building Jeeps. So I built a Toyota Land Cruiser LC70. We're going to go check it out. It's finished. Come on. All right, here it is, you guys. Real deal. Toyota LC70. She's finished. Sitting on an a SCX-10 2 chassis, right? And the full interior is there. It's not cut out. It's all there. It's all there. I mean, it is cut and trimmed and changed for sure, but it's there and it works great. And I'll show you guys that. This is it, man. It is a beautiful build. I love this truck. I put a lot of effort into it, a lot of energy. I will say right now, I'm not the best painter in the world, so you guys will see some, you know, damage on the paint, some mess ups on the paint and stuff. You shouldn't expect any more than that from me, you know. I'm not a professional painter, but I got it done, man. And I know you guys saw before, it was just about there. This time it's done. Everything's mounted solid, everything's sturdy. I did go ahead and chop the bed away from the cab. As you can see, there is a gap there now, so that way when I'm flexing it around, you can see it will move a little separately, right? Not a lot, just a little bit. It's scale. I like that. I also got all kinds of lights installed on this thing, and yeah, man, it's a dope truck. So if you're new to this and you haven't seen the previous video where I was like kind of done, I was just letting you know I was building a Toyota. This is an Axial SCX-10 2. I took it and I chopped down the transmission, you know, removed the spur gear, did an ESP anti-spur conversion, which is just my little chassis plate setup that goes between the frame rails and allows you to mount a 10-to-1 gear reduction unit and then your motor appear in place of that spur gear setup, because the spur gear takes up a lot of room on top of the transmission. So if you get rid of that, it creates a lot of room for an interior. So I do that to run a gear reduction unit, plus it pushes the weight towards the front, so it gives a little forward bias weight balance. And what I did was I did a leaf spring conversion in the rear, but it's not a typical leaf spring conversion. And I will show you guys that in a minute too. We'll flip this truck over and I'll look at the bottom. But first, let's just go ahead and look at it, man. Show you guys on, I'll show you guys around the top, you know, show you guys the bed, some accessories, things like that. It's connected through, the bed's connected through 2 screws. I got 2 screws in the bed back here. That's it. There's no, do I have one back here? No, I don't. Yeah, just 2 screws in the bed. And then I also converted a axial bumper. I just chopped it all up and did my thing and made a nice proper hitch mount right here, you know. Shout out to the homie Steven for the license plates. I've got a set of RC 4-wheel drive 1.9. I think these are the 10 holes. I forget how many holes are actually on there. And then these are just steel wheels, you know, simple, cheap ones. And then I did the RC 4-wheel drive Rocky Country tires. Now, for those of you guys that, you know, can tell, this is obviously, look at that gear reduction. This is obviously a dirty tire. That's because this truck is used, you know, it's built off of a used Trail Honcho, right? I did not start with a new platform. Same wheel setup in the front, except for I added the Ison Toyota hubs or whatever, right? Or the Warren style hubs. And then I also did disc brakes back there, which I don't know if you can see them or not. There we go. A little bit, right? It's just the little things. I like that. The rock sliders and the front bumper are both from Wordy Made, right? Wordy Made's the boy. Shout out to Wordy Made. Has a Warren winch in here, and it does work. Went with the red hook, you know, the Kong hook, Kong style hook. Went with the red shackles as well. I did forget to paint the black inside the grill. I'll admit that. I did forget to do that, and I didn't want to pull it all apart, so I'll glue it together. So it is what it is. Now, I went ahead and I built an antenna here. It didn't come with an antenna, so all I did for that was took a piece of spring steel and I pushed it down in there a little bit, you know. There's a hole already there. I pushed it down in there and then put my thumb there, marked it, pulled it back out, and then I took it and I put it in my vise over here and I bent it, right? And then I put it back in there with some glue on it on the bend, put it back in there and then pulled it up tight. That way the glued part is actually tucked tight up against the inside of the fender here. And then I put some screws on there, or some nuts on there, and some glue inside the nuts. Drop those down on there, and voila, it's glued in nice and tight. Works great. Springs still, so it can bend and move around and not bend. And there we go. Works great. And I did break this, broke this windshield wiper, and I broke this mirror on accident, so I had to fix those. They're working for now. And then what else? What else we got going on here? I got the 3D printed roof rack from Night Customs. This is a factory headache rack, comes with this body. I built this battery box here. It's just 3 pieces, one in the front, one in the back, and then this top piece, right? Threw a couple of hinges on there. And that's really it, you know, nothing fancy. It's pretty straightforward, simple. I wanted it to look like a factory truck for the most part, just with a nice little lift and set of tires on it, and that's kind of what I got it, you know, looking like here. Good stance, you can tell from the side here. Yeah, it's just a good looking truck. And the snorkel, if you guys are wondering about the snorkel, it comes with the body if you haven't got one of these. And what else should we look at? Let's go ahead and take a look at the interior now. Now to get to the interior, these doors do open, as does the tailgate. So you guys can see that there. The tailgate does open. And the doors do open. It's just, mine's a little wonky because, you know, it's a little modified here. But you got to press this thing back kind of hard. And then, boom, there we go. Then she'll open up. There we have it. Interior activity. Now, the door does go up and down, or the window does go up and down, but it likes to do this a lot, so you tend to have to, you know, it's like a real Toyota. So, there's that. And then the interior is actually pretty nice, man. I left it all black for the most part. I did paint some details into it. I put a little hanging radio in there. I put a fire extinguisher. I did, you know, just some little paint and sticker type details here and there. You can see on the center console too, or the whatever this would be. Did some stuff there, threw a water bottle on there, threw a book in there, and then you'll notice these down here. I did throw some carpet in, threw some carpet type material in there, and I did this floor mat out of a chopped up BFG tire, which I thought that was kind of cool. The seats do move; they move forward and backwards, and then you can lean the seats back if you want to, but I just keep them pressed all the way back. It's a cool truck, man. It's pretty cool. The guy over there is full figure, you know. You can see it's a full interior. I did chop this out, you know, and I raised the center console up. So if you compare this to a factory one on like a RC four-wheel drive platform or something like that, my console is raised up because I did have to do that just a hair to clear my drive shaft, the upper drive shaft to the gear reduction unit. But it is, you know, it is what it is. You can't even tell. And I'll turn on the interior lights and everything in a second so you can see that. As you guys can see, I've got lights on. It's got green underglow in the front. It's got blue underglow in the rear. I also have parking lights in the rear, and I've got parking lights in the front. Now, there are 3 light kits total on this thing, and one of them is running the underglow lights. One of them is running the parking lights, right? And those 2 light kits are both basic axial light kits. Now the rest of the lights on this truck, basically the tail lights and brake lights and the front headlights, the side markers and the fog lights and the spotlights all run off of one other kit, which is a MyTrick RC DG1. So shout out to MyTrick RC because they have awesome light kits. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it on. Oh, and the interior lights run off the DG1 as well. So I'm going to go ahead and flip the lights on. In order to do that, I click this button. If you guys can see that, I don't know if you guys can see that. Got a little button right here. Click that. I don't just click it, I got to hold it down, right? and then I have to push this up one time and then push it down again. Boom, you guys seen the lights turn on in there? There we go. I've got interior lights. How cool is that, huh? They're pretty realistic too, honestly. Flip it around the other side so you can see the dash lights. Yeah, it's pretty realistic. I like it. I think it's cool. You know, it's a kit that you can get from China that you can get with these bodies, and all it is really is like these it's like these printed panel looking things, you know, or metal panel looking things. I'm not really sure what they are. They're see-through though. It's almost like a sticker. You could do it with a sticker, and then they have like these LED panels that go behind them. And I chopped it up and made it work for all three of those, and yeah, I'm pretty stoked on it. I like it a lot. And when you turn that on, that first click, you can also see it turns on the side markers. It turns on the headlights, right? And it also turns on the brake lights. And the brake lights are on full right now. So now if I were to hit the gas or hit the throttle, it would let off the brake lights. See that? There's no reverse lights, unfortunately, but that's okay. And then as far as the headlights and the fog lights and the spotlights go, if I were to push this button down again and then click this up one more time and down, it cycles to the next option. Boom, which is fog lights on. Do it one more time and it should turn to the second degree of brightness. Boom. And then do it one more time and it should turn on the spotlights as well. And there we have it. That is the setup, man. How cool is that? I think it's pretty awesome. So that's it. I kind of wish I had some more underglow lights, I'm not gonna lie, but you know, we're working with what we got and we got a pretty cool looking truck. So that's how you do it. If you click it and cycle it one more time, it shuts them all off, right? Not the underglow, not the parking lights, but everything else. So I'm pretty stoked, man. This thing is sweet. I like it a lot. It's got a lot of good vibes to it, man. It feels like something. It feels like something really expensive, even though it's not all that expensive. It's built from a used truck and just some random stuff I had laying around. The body's kind of expensive. You know, if you were to buy this body and all the parts for it, it's probably $100 and something bucks. But you know what? That's not that bad when you're building a scale truck like this. So I'm gonna close this door up a little bit, and we will go ahead and take a look at the rest of this truck. I want to show you guys the interior. I gotta drop the camera and do this. Doors all shut back up. Next thing I want to show you guys is under the hood. I'm going to close the mirrors a little bit because we're going to break them off. I don't have the hinges for the hood. I wish I would have got that, but I didn't. So instead, I just left it loose for now. It doesn't pop off unless I roll over. I'm hopefully not going to do too much. So instead, you just lift it. Usually I got two hands, but ooh, and there we go. Now, I know I said the truck's finished. It's not entirely finished. I didn't finish the engine bay. The engine bay was an afterthought. It was just, you know, I saw this little piece of engine material I had sitting around. I was like, you know, I'll throw it under there and see if I can do something with it. It may or may not stay under there. I might detail it and finish it all off and make it look like a little engine cap, you know. But I may not. We'll see. You guys let me know. Should I detail it and make it into something or not? I think it looks kind of cool. It at least gives it the vibe that it's, you know, got a scale engine, but it doesn't. It's not that scale. But yeah, a little radiator right here, a little fake engine thing under there. I threw a little battery under there, and then I also threw a little turbo off of the carburetor, so it's like a blow-through style turbo. There's a turbo tucked back here, and then from the intake it comes over here to the you know, to the snorkel. So I tried, you know, I did something to it at least. I didn't paint it or do anything like that, but you know. Anyways, that's what under the engine bay looks like. You can see I've got the SHV 500 servo. It's a V2. I also have, this is a Holmes Hobbies Crawlmaster Sport. It's a 13 turn. This is an awesome motor. I have it geared down through a gear reduction unit. Obviously, underneath here is a 10-to-1 gear reduction unit. So this is not a fast truck. It is a very slow truck. If I were to go full speed reverse, that was it. If I go full speed forward, that's it. All right. This is a trail truck. I built it for control, mainly crawling off of rocky trails and things like that. Hopefully the ocean area in Hawaii, you know, along shoreline would be nice. But this is not meant to be a fast truck. You know, it's got a lot of scale detail. I don't like the idea of doing little burnouts and flipping them over and all that type of stuff. But speaking of, let's get the scale stuff out of the back and let's flip this over real quick and take a look underneath. We got it flipped over so we can kind of take a look at this undercarriage. It's nothing too fancy. You can see it's just, you know, I got most of it blacked out, simple, clean. You can see a couple wires, but it's just the wires to these tail lights back here. Honestly, I'll probably paint them black. Now this is the part that most of you guys were wanting to know about, is the suspension. And as you can see, it's a standard 3-link setup with a panhard bar up front. And I did do some things to the axles. I've got some beef tube brass knuckles on there. I threw some disc brakes, as you saw. I threw some aftermarket links on here. They're steel heavy ones. Same with the front right here. These are steel heavy links. Brass link, whatever these are, connectors, you know, link mounts. I threw a little brass on the shocks as well, you know, the shock retainers. Just throwing a little bit of brass up there. I know most people hate brass, but I thought it looked cool because the gold goes with the gold theme, you know, so I just went with it. I thought it looks dope. And then factory gray, these factory gray springs that come with the axial shocks. On the back, that's where shit gets weird. I've got a, oh, sounds like the little man's home. I've got a leaf spring suspension, but not any leaf spring suspension. It's got like, you know, elliptical suspension is popular right now. Well, this isn't that. This is leaf spring suspension with a 3-link setup. And if you guys know how suspension works, you know it would bind on 3 links. And so what it does is it actually pivots. I only hooked up one screw and a spacer, like a rubber spacer, between the thing there, and what do you know, it works. Let me see if I can get a good grasp on this here. It works good. There we have it. Right, you can go one side, oh, to the other, and it works good. And you know, it's fairly stiff still. It's not that stiff, but it's stiff enough to where I can still tow something with it, because I like, you know, the trucks, I like them stiff enough they can tow something. And you can see there's no binding going on anywhere. Works great. And I could make it a little bit softer if I wanted to by swapping some springs out, but honestly I like it. And I did these short shocks. These are old Tamiya shocks, super short shocks back there. Also did some RC4 drive shafts, front and rear. And that's pretty much it. Oh yeah, and this whole axle housing is a steel axle housing from China. And I just put the factory axial pumpkin back on there, you know, the diff cover, which I will probably swap out, I'm not gonna lie. And then you can see I did one of these extended Chinese steering servos just because I had it laying around, and that's it. The winch is literally just tucked in here. It's not even bolted in or strapped in, zip tight, nothing. It literally was such a nice tight fit, it popped right in. And that's it for the most part, you guys. That's the setup, you know, super simple. You can see how I did the hitch back here, just an old bumper cut down. All right, works pretty good. And that's it. That's the truck. I love it. Let me flip it back over. Boom. I love it. Got no miles on it yet. I'm gonna take it and drive it here real soon though. But anyways, my son is home, you guys. I heard him come in and I'm gonna go say what's up to him. Let me put this back together. Boom, let's throw these batteries back over here. Let's throw these scale accessories back in the truck. Like that. And that's it, I think. All right, you guys. You already know what it is. I appreciate you coming to kick it with me. I appreciate you guys checking out my build, my truck. It's awesome. I really like it. It's got really good steering. It's got really good control, lots of torque, not a lot of wheel speed, but you guys know me, none of my trucks have a lot of wheel speed really. And we'll take it out and we'll drive it here soon. I'm sorry it took so long to get this video out to you guys. I've had a lot of stuff going on, family coming to see me, family in the hospital, just a lot of things going on. So I'm trying my best, but I appreciate you guys coming through, kicking it, watching it with me. If you're not already, go check out Patreon. You can watch these videos like 2 to 3 days early, and yeah, support your boy. You already know what it is. Peace and chicken grease.